Hey everybody, welcome back. I know it's been a little while since I've done a live video, but I wanted to come to you guys today and talk about an app that we have. I have a lot of friends who either their kids have phones and they're like, I don't even know what they're on, and it makes them very nervous, excuse me, or they really want their kids to have a phone because they would like to be able to text them like, hey, I'm here, hey, I'm waiting for you, like after basketball practices, things like that. Or just a way to keep in touch with their children. And but their kids don't have phones because they're so worried about what they could access or be on. And so we found this great app through friends of ours. So I had no idea. I know that there is an app for pretty much everything. But the app that we found that we love when it comes to our kids having phones is called Our Pack. Now, I'm not necessarily saying like, oh, this is so great, like give your kid a phone. But sometimes I feel like for us, it's we have a child in middle school and one that goes to then a different school. We've got a lot of different schools going up. And when we go to pick them up, it is super nice if we can just text them and say we're here. Or the other thing too is a lot of people don't have home phones anymore. I know we don't, and I know most of our friends don't. And so when our kids want to call a friend, they would have to use our phones. And you're like, you can't use my phone, things like that. So it is a way for them to get in touch with their friends. So like, hey, do you want to come over? Hey, do you want to go to the gym? So we did get phones for our older two. And the app that we use, Our Pact, is awesome because we can actually add their phones to our phone. So we have control over everything. Every time they want to say they want an app, they first have to ask us because we have to open up the app store on their phone. So otherwise they wouldn't have access to it. If they want to listen to music, we let them listen to music, but we have to like allow that. But it's all done through our phone. Like if they want access to text messages, we have to allow them to go on to text message. And the other great thing is if you're worried about what they're texting, we actually get all the text messages from their phone. And so I was actually telling a teenager this and they were like, oh my gosh, because they were like, they would be mortified if their parents actually knew what they were texting back and forth to their friends. But we get the text messages and we have actually had to tell one of our kids like, hey, we're blocking this person because the text messages that they are texting you, they're not appropriate. They were just using some kind of not so nice language. And so we had to block them. And, he had the opportunity to tell his friend and his friend didn't stop. So we stopped it. So you can have access to everything. Every time they download something, we get it on our phone. So we know exactly what apps. How do your kids feel about that? They're actually okay with that because I kind of feel like if it's something that you couldn't say like in front of me or that's really inappropriate, they probably shouldn't be saying it anyways. They just love the fact that, for instance, our oldest loves to play Minecraft and he loves to create the world. And so there are times where he gets all done with homework and he said, can I have Minecraft for a little bit? And we can actually allow it, and you can either allow it or you can set a timer. So if you're like, hey, you can play on that for half an hour, like you could set a timer for it. The other thing too is the phones automatically, everything goes off at 8 o'clock on a school night, and they do get it till 9. They can have access to it. And that's just like a setting that we set on it. So it will automatically, like at 8 o'clock, all the apps are shut off. We do have it where like they can always have access to the weather, and they can have access to the calculator that's on the phone. So there are some apps that we always have on. We don't care that they're on like the weather app and whatnot. But so it is really nice that we can allow them to have some of those things. Because like I said, most people don't have house phones, and they always felt bad being like, hey, can I use your phone to call my mom or whatever? This way they can have access to us. They can text us and whatnot when they are away. But I think too, the fact that like they have to realize there's so many things. So like the internet, Safari, they don't have access unless we allow them to have access to the internet. They can't have YouTube, things like that. But it's like if they're working on a project and they need to find something else. So we need to know like what they're going to be checking, and then we can watch them. But most of the time, Safari's not ever on their phone if they want to listen to music, because nowadays we don't just have CDs, we download everything like to our iTunes. Good morning, Glenda. So by them having the phone, they do have access to the music. They can't go borrow a CD anymore, but they would like to listen to some music, and so they are able, then they're like, can I have access to the music? So we'll open up that app. Or they might say, Pandora, can I listen to Pandora, or whatever it is. And then we can give them access to that. Like I said, we can set a timer. So if it's only like, hey, you can only have that for an hour, we can put it on there for an hour, which is really nice for us. But like I said, like the whole texting, it's like, it would be like calling your friend and saying, hey, do you want to go to the gym? Like usually my boys especially are not texting people like random stuff for the most part. And then we always say, a lot of times their parents know this too, that they can see what you're writing as well. And so hopefully they keep it nice. But I thought I would come on and share that app because I know there's like so much struggle as a parent. You're like, no, I don't want to give them a phone. However, it would be convenient sometimes, so I had access to them, or they had access to me to let me know, hey, I'm gonna be 10 minutes late or whatnot. Because I know for us, like getting everybody into the car, and if I have to go into a building, I don't want to have to take all my little ones out. I want to just be able to be like, hey, I'm here in the front, come meet me or whatever. So there are apps, you guys, pretty much for everything. If you guys have some apps that you really love and that you use all the time and you would highly recommend, drop them in the comments below, because I love finding apps that make my life easier. My kids might not love it totally, but that's okay. It all makes everybody, it's like a give and take. So you get a phone, but now we keep little tabs on you. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you check it out and enjoy it as well. Until next time, bye guys. Have a great week.